I think that the biggest hurdles when it comes to explaining Lolita Fashion to family and just people in your life in general is explaining what Lolita Fashion is and that it has nothing to do with Nabokov's book and films. If these are the hurdles where you are currently stuck in explaining to family and people in general, I already have 2 videos that are very much a prerequisite to this video. They explain what Lolita Fashion is and then how it is not like the book. I think that these videos will offer some important and easy to follow talking points for you to explain to them, and you could always sit the person down that you're trying to explain this with and hopefully they'd watch it. I have a lot of experience in explaining Lolita Fashion because I've been researching it for 17 years, participating in the community for 13 years, and making content about Lolita Fashion for around 10. So naturally, many people in my life are aware of the fashion now. I have even created some Lolitas in my friends and family. There are people who just know that I do it and respect it even though it's not necessarily their things. And I've encountered a few people over the years who are very much against it. I understand that I don't know your family, I don't know your culture, your upbringing, your financial situation, your age, and these are all many contributing factors that could change the outcome of your experience. You know yourself best, you know your family, you know your situation, and you may need to adapt some of the things that I share in this video for you. If there are difficulties that you are facing that I do not bring up in this video, please let me know in the comments. This is something that we can try to figure out together, and it's possible that someone in the comments has advice to help you, or it's something that I could explore further in a later video. But before we get started, I want to take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, Rose Forever. Rose Forever is a New York-based brand that started in 2019. They create luxurious rose boxes with naturally preserved roses that will last for a year as if freshly picked. All materials in these boxes are vegan-friendly, even the pink suede and black velvet. Rose Forever roses come in a variety of colors, and I love the idea of matching them to coordinates. There is a Rose Forever gift for anyone of any style. There are a bunch of different colors, all naturally dyed, including black roses, which I recently received in a larger version of this crystal box. I'm excited to implement this into my decor, and I use this one every day on my desk to store just everyday items that I use, like my SD cards, extra batteries for Tamagotchis, pencils, tablet pen, and a Tamagotchi, of course. It's very functional and adds extra cuteness to my desk. I also love the pink suede box that I have reviewed in a previous sponsored video, which has now become great decor for the backgrounds of my videos. You'll actually see it in my next video. See if you can spot it. Rose Forever is celebrating Mother's Day, which is coming up with a very big sale. As well as explaining Lolita Fashion to family members who don't understand it, I think it's also important to appreciate the family members who do. And this would be a great time this Mother's Day to celebrate moms or mom figures in your life. You can get $25 off your Rose Forever purchase with my code lovelylor25. Thank you so much, Rose Forever, for continuing to support my channel, and let's get into the topic at hand. Why do you wear Lolita Fashion, and what do you want to get out of it? While you explain what Lolita Fashion is, it helps if you explain your personal attachment and interest and drive to wear it. Relating the fashion back to yourself will help them see a connection to it because they know you, rather than just looking at only photos of other people wearing it and them kind of thinking of it as those others, those people. They can see what your own interest in it is, and if you're younger, it can help show them that you're really dedicated and you have put in effort and research. Everyone's interest in Lolita Fashion is different. Everyone's reason for wearing it is a little bit different, and if you're completely lost and don't know how to put it into words, I will help you by explaining why I I wear Lolita Fashion? I, for myself, wear Lolita Fashion in order to express different aesthetics that I am visually drawn to. So I use Lolita's silhouette as a base to start out with, and then I think about different styles and colors and patterns that I want to use and build off of using this as a template. I am still myself when I wear Lolita Fashion. There is no role-playing or character aspect to it. It's just a way for me to try out different styles because I'm interested in fashion. I don't wear Lolita when I want to feel sexy. That's not to say that there aren't times when I do want to feel sexy. I just choose to wear other things to express that. I wear Lolita Fashion when I want to feel pretty, when I want to feel confident, when I just want to have fun and try out these different looks. There is a Lolita lifestyle associated with this fashion, and there are people that try to bring Lolita fashion to every aspect of their life. But that's not really my deal. I like to explore all different styles, and I just choose to wear Lolita when I feel like it. I greatly value the Lolita community both online and in person because it's just a group of people who also have a common interest with you. And as an adult, as you get older, it's harder to meet new people and make friends. If you follow the general life structure by normal society, you go to school, you go to secondary school, post-secondary school, job, your social circles kind of get smaller and smaller, especially if you then like get into a relationship, and then it's just like you're not meeting more people. And Lolita Fashion is a great way to just make more friends, and you already have a common interest that you can share, but it also brings together all of these other people from different backgrounds, different jobs that you might not have met otherwise. Why do you wear Lolita? Is it the same as me? Is it different? Explain that to your family. I think that also comparing Lolita fashion to people who wear historical fashion, people who go to like medieval fairs and stuff can be helpful just to show that it's normal for adults to dress up. Even if, with Ren fairs, there's more of a role play aspect, and historical people, it's like some do participate in roleplay stuff, some people don't, they just like the fashion. But I think just like more examples that you can show them of adults dressing up can be helpful for them to understand. Now, let's say that you have explained Lolita fashion to the best of your abilities and your personal interest and drive to wear it, but you face backlash from your family or the person that you're trying to explain it to. What do you do then? I was once handed a letter by a family member who will remain anonymous, and it contains pretty much every misconception there is about Lolita fashion, and I'm gonna go through some excerpts with you to try to evaluate it, and hopefully if you face anything like this, which I hope that you don't, but you might have some talking points to go through with them.
I can understand. Such dressing up occasions would make one feel really special. I now have rather grave reservations on a larger scale of things. Even taking the name Lolita from Vladimir Nabokov's novel Lolita in Paris makes me realize that the name now has a broad connotation, especially in a Hollywood sort of world, i.e. girls being depicted as objects of desire. Mr. Nabokov was a keen observer of America when he came here from Russia.
First of all, the book is not called Lolita in Paris. It's simply called Lolita. If you search Lolita in Paris, your results will be actual Lolita fashion stores in Paris. Lolita fashion has nothing to do with the Lolita book and film. And of course, if that's where they're stuck, this is the video that explains all of that. Yes, there is a systemic problem in Hollywood of women being presented as sexual objects, but the way to combat that isn't to make yourself bland and boring. It's to show more representation. It's to show more women wearing different fashion styles in different roles with different motivations, doing different things. More! This idea is literally the opposite of what Lolita Fashion started as. It was a rebellion to celebrate your own individual expression and interests rather than trying to dress to attract a partner. It became quite popular in the early 2000s when the mainstream fashions were expressing femininity through sexuality, which is not invalid, but it's not the only way to express femininity, and Lolita Fashion was showing a way to do this modestly in a different way. This isn't to get rid of sexuality entirely, but to show that there's more options to explore femininity. Clothes should never dictate your status. Clothes are not an invitation. How can you tell if someone wants to be sexually desired? With their goddamn words, with what they are telling you, with what they're saying, with their consent, not with what they're wearing. If people are going to fetishize Lolita Fashion, it's not my fault for existing and wearing it. That is not the fashion's original intention, and that's not my personal intention for wearing it. When I present myself this way, I am not looking for sex. And if you are going to disrespect and disregard that, it's not my problem. And I'm not going to stop wearing it, because if I were to live in a world where I avoided anything and everything that could be potentially sexualized, I guess I'm never going to the aquarium again. I'm never going to watch a single cartoon. No more cake on your birthday. I can't even wear this necklace anymore. And all sandals are canceled. You put those grippers away, you filthy degenerate. Don't you know? Aren't you aware? Everything can be sexualized.
Women, as I'm sure you have observed, have worked very hard for their dignity and for gender equality, but still have a long way to go.
People interpret this idea that if you want equality, you have to wear pants because women fought to wear pants. But the whole point is to have the option to choose. The ability to make the choice of what you want to wear regardless of your gender.
In short, the kind of fashion show the Lolita presentation depicted of more grown-up women looking like 14-year-olds, at least in my mind, encourages the participants to appear simply as objects of male desire, much in the same way as the attached article on pageants for toddlers.
I don't want to raise my voice and be mean, but, this is making me mad, okay? This is shit I've had to deal with forever. Every day. I'm tired of it. Cute clothes does not equal young. There is no expiration date on wearing certain clothing, certain colors. Amina, who does not necessarily identify as a sweet Lolita, but their style is kind of similar. It's very colorful, embracing a lot of rainbows. They recently made some content opening this discussion around age. What does a specific age look like? Well, however old you are and what you look like, what you dress like. Doesn't really matter. There's no correlation between the two. The second part of this statement, I don't really have a lot of experience in. I don't have a lot of education with child pageants. I have a few friends who were in them growing up, and they've expressed that the pressures of beauty standards on them as a kid definitely affected them negatively as adults, and I think that it could be potentially harmful. I've heard that pageants have had problems with predators poaching them for victims, and whether I agree with the idea of child pageants or not, I don't believe that their intention is to attract predators. And this letter continues to victim blame, and I don't think that you should be controlling these potential victims. You should be holding the predators accountable.
By the way, we have had many tragic incidents of late of men's appetites for youngsters or young women, the most recent being the of a little 9-year-old girl in a community not distant from our own. This trend is really frightening.
I can't believe that people think like this. Listen to yourself. I need 2 beverages to deal with this. Honestly, I'm contemplating a third. What is appetite? What does appetite mean? Appetite is a desire to eat food items, usually due to hunger. Appetite exists in all higher life forms and serves to regulate adequate energy intake to maintain metabolic needs. You are excusing this disgusting behavior of certain men because you're saying that their desire needs to be fulfilled in order to live, and that it's everyone else's responsibility to make themselves less desirable in order to survive. That's so f***ed up. That is not equality feminist girl boss energy.
I do understand that your show made you feel very special, having being photographed in this cute outfit and being there for any onlooker to see on the internet. However, I hope you think about what I am saying above and how such matters can relate to you. You can set your own big and ambitious goals for yourself.
There is nothing wrong with feeling cute and special. I think it's important, even more so nowadays, with places like TikTok that had implemented rules around being ugly or less traditionally attractive that are still present in their algorithms today, and after being on for a few minutes will make you feel like absolute garbage about yourself. So often we are led to believe that we need to look a certain way, and if we don't, feel bad about ourselves. Taking the time to appreciate yourself is so important. I think the only time it becomes egotistical is when you are putting yourself above others, but you don't need to do that. You can appreciate yourself and others at the same time. I think it's important for Lolitas to be like, hey, I look cute, I feel pretty, and you look cute too, and you are also pretty. Yes, I choose to present myself on the internet where anyone can see, and I am proud of myself for being able to navigate the internet to not listen to those who are coming to my content for the wrong reasons, and to put different practices into place of protecting myself from that, and to keep showing up for the people who do support me, who do want my content. I think that these matters relate to me because I'm fortunate enough to have a platform from this fashion. I want to confidently represent myself as a queer woman who's 30-something and beyond. I dress alternatively in hopes to just have fun expressing myself and to hopefully create inspiration for others to do so too and offer support for them. I want to share this information because our community has a history of elitism and criticism, and I want us to explore and grow and expand from that. I don't understand what the problem with this is. The only issues that have been brought up in this letter are how other people interpret it, which is not really my responsibility, but I'm doing the best to try to educate on, and I understand that not everyone will get it, but hopefully some will, and it will be worth it. This section of the video got way too personal, but I hope that there's some information that you can take away from this, and I really hope that you don't encounter situations like this or conversations like this in your own life, but if you do, maybe you'll have a few things from this to say. What do you do if they won't listen? Lolita Fashion through the years has been presented as a lifestyle. I remember in the 2010s, there was such a push to be a lifestyle Lolita, and people thought of that as like the representation in Kamikaze Girls, where she is always 100% fully decked out in a full complete Lolita coordinate and only eating sweet things and just fully embracing this cartoon-esque Lolita, and that's just not realistic. What Lolita lifestylers are more like is that they try to bring different aspects of Lolita into their everyday life. So, they might be wearing a cutso instead of a t-shirt, or they might be wearing bloomers around the house rather than wearing bicycle shorts. And someone who explains this a lot better, if you're interested in being more of a lifestyle Lolita, is Fluffy Kawaii Jo. She's made a lot of videos talking about how she takes pieces and wears them more regularly. Although through the years Lolita Fashion has been represented as a lifestyle, I feel like 99% of its wearers don't treat it like a lifestyle. I personally don't. I just find times when I want to wear the fashion, and then in other parts of my life, I just want to be comfortable, and sometimes I want to just, adapt to my surroundings. I recognize that there are times when it's just easier to not wear Lolita. And the simple answer is, if your family doesn't accept Lolita and you are able to not wear it around them and just find other areas to wear it, do that. just simply don't wear it around them. It is not necessary to wear Lolita fashion 100% of the time. It doesn't make you any less of a Lolita. Whether you wear it once a year or 3 times a week, you're still a Lolita. Even Lolita fashion in its origins, it started off as a Harajuku sub-style, and that was a place in Japan where people would go on Sundays to dress up and express themselves, often because they couldn't express themselves during the week. And this was sort of their escape and their time to dress freely. So if you are unable to wear it around your family, I would say join a community, find times where it is comfortable for you to wear the fashion. Myself, I sometimes even wear it with friends who are not necessarily Lolitas, but I have friends who dress alternatively in other fashions, and it makes me feel comfortable even if they aren't wearing the exact same thing as me. We are all still dressed up and alternative. It's always nice to be in a group of people rather than out on your own. I understand that it's a bit more difficult if you live with a person, and a friend of mine, their parent did not accept Lolita fashion. I couldn't wrap my head around that. I was trying to get them to keep explaining it to them, and they just were stuck on it. So she actually hid Lolita fashion in her car and then would go change in other places. And although that feels weird and deceitful, it's you gotta do what you gotta do to feel comfortable and safe. Eventually, she was able to move out and then wears Lolita on her own time. Minors can wear Lolita fashion, but it's important to remember that it's not made with children or teens in mind. As I've already mentioned, it was a movement to start dressing for yourself instead of attracting a partner, so it's geared at an age group that would be typically looking for a partner, as in adults. The fashion is intended as a hobby and a collection, so naturally you need a little bit more of a disposable income to be able to afford it. Whether you're a minor or an adult and you live with someone else who is a guardian or family and they help support you, you have to follow their rules, which sucks, and in some cases you full stop might not be able to wear Lolita right away. It's important to remember that Lolita fashion is an extra thing. It's not vital to your survival. It might be something that you have to put aside and just appreciate through looking at other photos, content, video games, videos, until you can support yourself and be able to finally get into Lolita fashion. I know a lot of Lolitas who are starting out in their 30s because they're finally in a place where they're comfortable and can support themselves and are just now starting. There's so many stories like that. If you are not an adult, it's also important to remember that the community is not made for kids, and it's not to be exclusionary or rude or anything like that. It's a safety issue because these are primarily adults, and if you are underage, you can't really be responsible for yourself, and you need someone to be a guardian, and it sucks to put random strangers in a community in that position, so it's best if you can get a parent or guardian involved. I've met people who are 12, 13 that are going to events with their parents. It's really amazing when parents get involved with their kids' interest and let them participate and make it a bonding thing. I think that's the best outcome possible. It's also really important to manage your expectations within Lolita fashion and remember that when you are looking at other people who may have been in the fashion for a long time, you're not gonna instantly have the wardrobe that they have. And appreciate the things that you can get and the things that you can do. Utilizing gift-giving holidays can really help too if you don't have the income to purchase Lolita, or if you're, underage and you can't get a job. A lot of people have a lot of different feelings around resellers, but this is a great way where they are very convenient because you can just send your family, your friends, a link, and then they can purchase the item without them having to have all the knowledge of shopping services and learning different things about how to buy Lolita fashion. I think it's good to also have a conversation with your family if you're in school and you are unable to work, to kind of talk to them about maybe making incentives for good grades or extracurriculars, so that way it shows them that you're willing to work towards these items and that it's important to you. And of course you want to again, manage your expectations and work within whatever budget they allow you, which might not be, an angelic pretty dress. It might be something a bit more affordable. The truth is, it's not that deep. The people who wear Lolita Fashion for a much deeper reason are totally valid. And the people who wear Lolita Fashion just because they like how it looks are valid too. At the end of the day, these are just clothes, and it's up to you in how you want to use them. Do you want to elevate and express yourself in different ways? Or do you just simply want to wear them because you like how it looks? I find that default skins, non-Lolitas, normies, whatever you want to call people who don't wear Lolita Fashion, they see you dressed up and they see that it's so different from the mainstream that they want a reason why, and they try to give reasons why they think you would be wearing them. But for a lot of people, it's just the same reasons that they're wearing the clothes that they chose. Your buttonless cardigan with jeans. You like how that looks? Well, some Lolitas like how this one piece looks. That's just what they're drawn to. It comes up a lot in Lolita communities, the question of what do you say to someone if they ask, why are you dressed like this? And I can't remember exactly which community said this, but someone once told me, say, I'm eccentric. That's it. That's all you need to say, really. I am over the top. I like to try out different fashions. I like to be dressed up. I'm eccentric. I really hope that this has helped you find more ways to explain Lolita Fashion to your family and people in general. Let me know what your experiences are like, what you say to people, and best of luck. I really hope that you can feel comfortable and safe wearing Lolita Fashion. I made a video about this topic 9 years ago, and I wanted to rewatch it and see what I said and expand upon it, but I just could not do it. It is so cringe. I can't believe that this is my only resource on talking to family, and it's only 4 minutes long, and it was made at a time when I was really new to being on camera and also really new to wearing Lolita Fashion, so I don't even know what I said. There's also going to be people in the comments that are probably going to complain about the amount of cleavage I have in this dress, and I would just like to say that you are a body shamer. Lolita Fashion is inspired by clothing in the 18th century. Have you ever looked at clothing in the 18th century and how their bodies fit into it? Okay, shut the fuck up.